fucking million. It's easy to pull a trigger, but it ain't easy to move your mom out the hood. That's a real man job. They ain't for suckers right there. We trying to be young kings, all that other shit played out. And this is Split's pain. When you ride through the trenches, bulletproof all on the rain. This is Split's pain. Loving on the bitch you claim.
Thanks for tuning in with the Heart of the Hood, Section 8, and rocking with Butterball and
OG Strong.
Get on the map. Market, advertise, and promote your products and services on Section 8 Podcast.
Section 8 Podcast, we got y'all back.
Absolutely.
Big up to all the ones out there doing their thing. Promoting their music, promoting their little books. Books? Oh, hold on. How the Game Begin, your book. I gotta give it up to my man. How the Game Begin.
I thought you wouldn't catch that.
No, I had to catch it.
I thought you forgot about me.
Never. So, How the Game Begin. Could you give me a little perspective on what you saying, How the Game Begin?
Absolutely.
On your book, can you get an audience that little?
Hey, make sure y'all go to Amazon and support me by purchasing my book, How the Game Begin. BEGAN. Is that on eBay and Kindle for those who don't like to read hardbacks. I created an acronym for the word game, 2 acronyms. One is a street perspective, which is getting that money easy, which is a great philosophy. It's a great perspective, but it's not the only perspective.
Right.
It's because the government has a perspective. And I created the acronym for that one, meaning going after minorities economically. Because everything is based around economics.
Okay, so the G is going, the A is
after,
the M is
minorities,
and the E is
economically.
game.
And the same thing with the street term.
Right.
The G is for getting.
The A is for
at,
the M is for the money. The E is
for easy.
Easy.
All right, which leads me into I want to share an example of how I contribute to the destruction of a black business in my neighborhood, Richard Island Projects. There first of all was 2 black-owned stores, as far as my understanding is, and that's George Taylor's and Skinny Jimmy's.
And houses also. That was up on, what's that? 10th and Fairmount.
Okay, typically, you talking about, was it a store or a barbershop?
It was a store. The barbershop was another thing right there on Fairmount, but the housing store was up the street, right on right above Fairmount Street.
Okay, and it also was a shoe polish store or something like that.
Right.
So what I wanna express is, if we forgetting anybody, any businesses, any names, y'all part of this podcast. So we ask for y'all to join the conversation and know that we are creatures of forgetting. So
it's your story too.
Absolutely. All right. I'm from 12th Street, right? 12th and Brown, and there were several stores behind my house that you're familiar with.
Right. 2
Asian convenience stores.
Used to be the Village.
And Mom's Market. And then you have Skinny Jimmy. That's, probably about
decades.
30 to 50 feet from the 2 Asian stores, the Korean stores. And the 2 Asian stores is probably about 10 feet apart from each other. Right. Am I exaggerating?
No, you're not.
All right. So me and my peers, we used to hustle around this location. And when we made our money, we would immediately spend money with these stores, right? With these businesses. And they did the stereotypical bias, prejudice thing.
Right.
right? Watched us to see if we were still anything, right?
Yes,
And they wouldn't let us buy anything on consignment. They wouldn't let us go for
a nickel,
or a dime, right?
They didn't.
And we would spend our money with them, buying white tees, white t-shirts, chips, sodas,
blunts,
right? And they had fresh produce.
Yeah, they did.
Right?
The new store was like a new store.
You understand what I'm saying? And they really wouldn't allow us to, be in their store, hustling.
Not at all.
Right? So we had Skinny Jimmy's down the street, who would let us buy on consignment. He let my mom buy food without paying, and was able to buy food on the tag.
Right. Skinny used to do that.
He used to do that. But his food, his products wasn't fresh. Right?
Nope. Not at all.
And he used to throw like little cookouts on the weekends on his time off to give back to the community. Right?
Used to do that.
So at the time, I'm ignorant to financial literacy. Right. I didn't understand how the black dollar worked. Right. So I contribute to his store not being prosperous is because I took my black dollar and I spent with the Asians. Right? Not knowing that the reason why he didn't have fresh produce is because African Americans are biased against the financial institutions. Like when they go get a business loan, when we go get a small business loan, right? We have to pay high interest rates.
Absolutely.
So when he's going to borrow this money, he doesn't have the money to compete to go buy fresh produce. So we turn our nose up at him. I'm responsible for that. I'm being honest.
He used to have bad stuff up on the front. Outdated cakes, outdated chips and stuff. And he used to keep them on the shelf.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So during my incarceration, I had a chance to reflect on my activities, on my street activities.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? And I felt kind of disappointed in myself. Is because I contributed to his business not prospering once again. So
we was young, we was looking at it like, I ain't buying that stuff, it ain't no good. And Mr. Skinny, he was the type of person that he used to let you get it. Go ahead out.
Yeah.
When kids used to come and steal from him, he used to curse them out and do whatever, but he still used to let them come in.
He still used to let, because he knew us. He was a part of the community. And what I wanna vehemently express is the fact that stores that are in these locations,
right,
they are there for a reason. They are there to help the quality of life and the standard of living for that community. So his taxes, right, was going to the benefit of the community.
Right.
I highly doubt that the Koreans that was making money off of us was contributing to the community in ways where they donating some kind of proceeds to build playgrounds for the children.
Oh, no, they weren't
to fix the infrastructure. Like if there was a pothole in the middle of the street, they didn't care. They would take their money and send it back to their families in other countries so they could go to school and prosper, and then send them back over.
Then they'll open the store up, and then they'll leave.
So look, let me tell you what happened. When I listen, I lied to you not. It was. They had a young son that was growing up around the same age as us, probably a little younger.
Little time.
Yeah, exactly. Time. Listen, let me tell you, I came home. He used to smoke weed with us and stuff like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's how long they was in our community.
Yeah.
And the same thing with 10th Street.
10th and Brown.
10th and Brown.
Parks. Oh man, Parks.
Parks. And the same
Mr.
thing
Park.
on the 11th and Poplar.
Throughout
and,
the years,
and on 10th and Poplar.
throughout the years, Mr. Park.
Hold on.
Start.
Before I want to keep it
real.
here, but I want to say this. It's because I came home
Right.
after doing some time, and now I'm older, and I go into the village,
Right.
and I look, and immediately Tom recognized who I was,
Right.
and I asked him. I said, "Yo, where your parents at?" And he said, "Oh, they opened up another store in West Philly." So what he was conveying to me is they took the Black Dollar and opened up another franchise. And franchised in another part in the city in another black neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying? So I wanted to share that with y'all. There's a lot more that I'm going to be sharing. You understand what I'm saying? So listen, we need y'all to stay tuned. And we need to hear y'all stories, man.
If we forgot anything,
Anything.
it's okay to let us know.
Okay, I wanted
This
you
is
to.
your story too.
I wanted you to, continue to elaborate on
As far
Parks.
as Parks, when he came there, he was like a military boy. He came in Philly. He know how Philly was getting down with the violence. He came in there with a burner, chasing customers out the store.
Wow. Yeah.
Then not thinking they stealing, chasing out mom's market.
True facts.
Was real mean. And over the years, they became family, like hands down, to a point that they gave a couple cookouts, to my knowledge.
Okay.
There was one Korean business down our neighborhood that gave something.
Wow.
Like, I left in 99. They done something in like in the early 90s, in the middle of the 90s. So I gotta give it up to them, just to be said. And houses, George Tellis.
Okay.
Was another black-owned store.
Yeah.
That was there for years, and it was a family. It was a family, a son, an uncle, and a father. They just wiped out, disappeared.
Wow.
Right there, sitting there now, is an apartment. You know, it became a Chinese store after that.
Wow.
It became a Chinese store after that.
Wow.
And I forgot what it was called, but it was a popular Chinese store.
Yeah.
From houses, George Tellis.
Okay.
But if we forgot anything, y'all allowed to tune in, comments, let us know.
Section 8.
This y'all story just as well as ours.
These are worldwide views. These aren't just views in our particular neighborhood and community.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So to what I wanted to say, listen, are there any black-owned businesses in Richard Island right now?
Right
Do you
now.
know of? As far as I've been
Right
through,
now, no.
when we go through there, I don't see no black businesses there now.
None. Everywhere across Philly, either you see a poppy store or a Chinese store.
And we don't have a stake in
We
there.
need to support each other.
Absolutely, we need to know how the black dollar works. Listen, I want to give a shout out to our community representative, Wasina Williams. Miss Edna, hold on.
Hold up.
We got to pay homage
to Miss Edna,
to the godmother of Richard Island.
Yup. Miss Edna, we love you. We ain't forget you.
Absolutely.
Couple people we know, the black owners.
Right.
Cedric got the barbershop, had it for years.
Shout out to Seth.
We gotta give it up to Maine.
Man, the barber,
He been
staple
cutting our
in the
heads for
community.
years.
Absolutely.
I ain't get my hair cut from him over 20 years.
Yeah.
I know if I go to him now, he'll sharp me up in 10 minutes,
Absolutely.
5 minutes.
Absolutely.
You know, man.
I'm glad you brought that up too, because I don't want to forget. We had a 50 cent before New York had a 50 cent.
5-0.
You know who I'm talking about?
Big up 50 G's. Yes, we did have a 50 cent.
We had a Frank Matthews before. Well, I'm not going to say before, but we had a moderate. You know, shout out to Frank Bank.
Frank Bank, rest in peace, Razor.
You understand what I'm saying?
Razor.
These guys, 50 had a sneaker store.
Sneaker store.
On Cecil B. Moore Ave. You familiar with that?
Yeah.
And he gave back to the community. I remember it was me and my homies, and he gathered all of us up and he told Former to take us up to his sneaker store and give us all free sneakers.
Damn, that was nice.
You understand what I'm saying? 50 had a fighter, a boxer, that was in the ring with Mike Tyson named Buster Mathis Jr.
Right? That was
absolutely.
That was
I'm sitting there watching it and I couldn't be more proud.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Is because I had an example.
He walked in the ring. Look at 5-0, look at 50.
Absolutely.
You seen that, man. Big up.
You feel me?
Yep.
Bang. He resurrected Ram Squad and gave life to it.
To our whole neighborhood.
In a
Big
commercial
time.
way.
Yes, he did.
In a way where, you know, individual was able to monetize from the Richard Allen brand.
And that music's still hot today. It is not dated. None of that music.
And phenomenal individual. Phenom.
All their music.
You understand what I'm saying?
Real talk.
So we just wanted to you know, pay homage. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. A false philosophy shouldn't be maintained because that sometimes is going to be compromised by reality. What do I mean by this statement? I mean a false philosophy. I'm gonna get rich or die trying. I'm about that life. You know, any other terms?
With the Joneses.
You understand what I'm saying? Okay, me believing in the game, standing on the principles of the game, right? Was compromised by prison and an indictment.
Yeah.
Me going to, and my reality was me going to jail and having to serve 12 and a half years in federal prison.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not a game.
It's not a game.
But
there's another big thing about it though. You can hustle for years, might not never go to jail. You might not never come up big time. You might be addicted to it to a point that you thinking you're gonna come up and you still ain't win.
Right.
And that's another perspective I call a game as far as there's losses in it. It's a lot of things come with it.
Absolutely.
I can tell you it's a lot of things come with it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Death definitely come with it. Incarceration definitely come with it. And these are the things that we have to go into the mindset knowing this.
Yeah.
Right? Let me say this.